We all have regrets being in a leadership role. We all wish we could change things. Stay tuned for this episode.
Awaken the leader inside. Follow the path of leadership. Never give up. Never stop trying. Get up. Believe in yourself. Not every day is going to be easy, but you got to challenge yourself. You need courage. Be ready. Stop waiting for it to happen. Go make it happen. Harness the power within. You are destined to be a leader. Follow the path of leadership. Awaken the leader inside.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Dave Rubalcava, and I'm your host here at Awaken the Leader Inside, a show dedicated to your leadership journey. Remember, you are never alone. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode. So, I was doing some reflection, and I always reflect, usually every day. Usually it's the next morning to whatever happened yesterday, and that just allows me to kind of think about it when I'm getting ready or taking a shower or whatever, just kind of thinking about things that have happened. And it dawned on me that we all have regrets, especially if you've been in leadership and been in leadership for a while. We all make mistakes. And for those of you that are new to leadership or inspired to become leaders, I think it's important for you to hear this message, because I think this message will resonate more with you actually than with leaders that have been experienced, but they'll share the value in learning from those mistakes. And so let me kind of take a step back. If you're a new leader, I think the hardest thing for you in the beginning is thinking that you need to have all the answers, that you need to be perfect, that you need to always like deliver this result. And you kind of fail to see sometimes how challenging that is if you're a one-dimensional leader. And by that, I won't dig too deep in that, but I just mean that you only have one approach. And if that approach people don't like, oh wow, that's it. And that's where you're probably going to end up having some issues down the road, I promise you. But I think there's this misconception that as a new leader that we know it all. And I think when I look back, I'm like, why is that perception there? And I think it's been formed just historically by default. If you are a leader, those that work underneath you believe that you have been promoted and put in this position because of either your experience, your knowledge, or your ability to lead people. And so there is this misconception, even on their end, that you should know everything. And what I'll say to that is clearly they've never been in a leadership role ever, just so you know, because that couldn't be farther from the truth. Doesn't matter how long you've been a leader, you're always going to have to keep learning, find new solutions. What worked in the past doesn't always work in the future. Business is changing, environments are changing, technology is changing. And if you don't think any of that affects leadership, you're dead wrong, because all of it influences leadership and how you have to make decisions and how you have to recognize that things are changing and you're going to have to adapt as well. That is really, truly leadership, is the ability to adapt to environments, adapt to situations, to create solutions that'll work. All the innovators, if all the new innovators relied on how we did things in the past, there wouldn't be any innovations. There wouldn't. That's just simple. They had to go outside the scope, outside the box, and come up with a different solution to deliver a different result, which took a different level of leadership, plain and simple. And so, when I look back on the regrets, a lot of the regrets that I have, and the reason why I'm sharing this to you guys is I want you to think about your own leadership, but this is more geared towards the new leaders, is I have a lot of regrets because I was unwilling to do those things in the beginning. Unwilling, to something as simple as listen to my team. Listen. They're frustrated. Okay, let me hear what you got to say. Let me seek to understand. and then let me figure out a way to help you or help them. There was this misconception that I have is like, do what I say, not what I do. Like, this is what I'm asking you to do. Don't mind what I'm doing. Do what I'm telling you to do. And that worked for a little while. It doesn't work indefinitely. It just doesn't, because you lose the respect of your team. You know, we can go into a rabbit hole about all that stuff. But, you know, I have a lot of regrets where I wish I would have been more open to developing and open to growing in the first few years. In the first year, I would probably say, and just be a sponge, you know, just take feedback, seek to understand, seek to find solutions. And I think that was something I didn't quite understand that. I thought I was here, you know, as a leader in the beginning to do what I was told, but not to necessarily be a troubleshooter or a planner. It was just like, I'm here to run a business, and here's the business model. This is what they tell me to do, so I'm going to do that, versus trying to figure out, is that the best solution? Is that the best way to do things? Am I looking at short-term results, long-term results? And I just didn't have that ability yet. I just didn't. And so that's where, you know, as a new leader, one of my regrets was lacking the foresight to understand that what I'm doing right now is going to affect me. So if I'm hard on my team every single day right now, guess what? 4 months from now, I'm not going to have a team because they all quit. That has happened, just so you know. You know, and not understanding that long term, what I'm doing right now is going to affect me. It's either going to make my life easier down the road, or it's going to make it extremely difficult down the road. And having that accountability for my own decisions, that was probably what I lacked in the beginning. So I had a lot of regrets. A lot of the regrets that I have, guys, early in my career was the people side of the business, which to me has become the most significant part of leadership. But in the beginning, it was the least understood. That sounds like a double negative, least. But it was the least understood from my end, because I didn't put any significance to that. And that just, to me, is just not understanding what a manager and what a leader does. A manager just runs businesses and runs things, tell people what to do. A leader inspires people to follow them, encourages and nurtures. And I didn't even know what the difference between them were back in my early first years of leadership, my first management positions. But I really regret not putting people first in the beginning. And when you do that, it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost of that you're probably going to struggle a little bit in your own role when you put people first. And eventually it catches up. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, if you're, open a brand new store, right? And you have 20 people, and you don't train them how to run the registers. You don't train them how to take phone calls. You don't train them how to stock shelves. You're just like, they're here. I got to go do these conference calls. I got to do all this. I got to do payroll. But you never teach them how to do their job, teach them how to be successful. You're going to struggle. You're going to be pulled into all of those fires immediately. Versus, okay, let me spend 30 days teaching them, setting cultures, motivating them, teaching them how to be successful independently. So in the next month, this month's going to be hard for me. I'm probably going to work some long hours. But in the next month, they'll be able to carry it themselves, which will allow me to step back and go do what I have to do. It takes a huge amount of foresight to understand that. And because I didn't do that in the beginning, I struggled so bad in the first year because I didn't understand that. I didn't understand the value of investing in people. Now, if I would have done that sooner, I probably would have learned a lot quicker and not made so many mistakes. And every mistake I made as a leader, you guys, I own it. I accept it. It's helped me grow. It's helped me become a better leader. That doesn't stop it from hurting. It doesn't stop it from you getting some nasty feedback sometimes that really hurts because, it's hard to separate yourself from your leadership position at work. So in the beginning, you take a lot of offense to what's being said. And I did that as well. That was another one of my big regrets, is not being able to separate myself from the feedback of me being a leader doing whatever I'm doing. It's not a personal attack. It's just like, hey, David at Target today did not do well. That doesn't mean David outside of Target is a bad person or, sucks at life. It just meant that my day today, I wasn't able to deliver what I wanted to. I wasn't able to influence the team the way I wanted to, and I wasn't able to drive results the way I wanted to. And if someone calls me out on it, it's the truth. It is the truth. And that's probably the hardest thing as a new leader. My regret was being able to not get upset about that and resist it for a year and then just get pummeled, because now it's like you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not effective. And those are some hard things. So those are a lot of my regrets, you guys, early in my career. And I hope that helps you guys so that you understand, as a leader, this is the natural progression. You don't know what you don't know as a new leader, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to have a lot of hiccups. You're going to have a lot of mistakes sometimes with people. Maybe you say the wrong thing. Maybe you're too harsh. And maybe it gets you into a little bit of trouble because you weren't, very welcoming to people. You were very harsh and direct, which leads you into the office of the HR manager. That happens because we don't understand the dynamics, team dynamics sometimes. So I have a lot of regrets, and I've used those regrets to help me transition and train people when I'm teaching them about long-term, to not make the same mistakes, to understand the significance of accepting feedback, to understand the significance of the people side of the business. Those are all the things that I teach them right off the bat, because those were my failures. Those were my shortcomings as a new leader. And those were a lot of the regrets that I wish I could have do over, but I've used those as a tool and as a resource to reinforce how I lead people now. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that brings it kind of full circle, so you understand that it's normal to go through those changes. It's normal to make mistakes, and it's normal to feel sometimes like you failed. And I did. And I did early in my career, and I've used every one of those life lessons, over every one of those leadership setbacks, as a platform to help me grow. So I hope that helps, guys. Stay tuned. We're getting closer to the 100th episode, which you're not going to want to miss that one, I promise you. And thanks for tuning in for another episode. Always remember to awaken the leader inside. Until next time, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit that little bell on the top, right? Now it's time to get to work, and let's make it happen.